The name is Paul Millar, and I am embarking on the 18th of May to do a 3,000-mile charitable ride across the United States on a track called the Southern Tier. And the purpose of that journey is to raise awareness for reconciliation and for the First Nations University of Canada. To discuss the ride in general, as an ultra-endurance cyclist, it's always trying to find distances and kind of races that require the maximum effort for the rider. In the United States, there are two major trans-American routes that have been put together by Adventure Cycling. The northern route, which runs from Seattle to Savannah, which I did back in the 90s. And this route, which I've always had in mind, which is called the Southern Tier, and it runs from San Diego to St. Augustine in Florida, and it's also a distance of 3,000 miles. What makes it particularly unique is it's really temperature driven. You're obviously going through the high deserts of California, and then through Arizona, and then the hill country of Texas. And then you'll get the swampy heats of Louisiana into Florida. So that gives it a really great, diverse kind of ecosystem riding. That's why I've selected it, and really will be a very unusual thing from an endurance perspective. Some of the days have enormous amounts of climbing, which may not make sense to most because they think it's all flat, but one day in particular has like over 18,000 feet of climbing as you get through into Texas. As a Canadian, and looking at the establishment of the country and how far we've come and where we are held globally in people's estimation, I think, looking within, there's a lot that you can't do in terms of rewriting history, but you can be cognizant of what you do today will be the history in a generation. And looking at the First Nations and their plight within Canada, I think it's absolutely important for all the young people in Canada to understand the formation of the country and what the First Nations people have to offer. How they were treated in the past, as I said, is not something that we can necessarily rewrite, but we can come to a point of reconciliation and an understanding of how we can do things better going forward. To have a place within Canada that I would hope in time all students make it their responsibility to go and visit, and to further that understanding is the purpose of the ride, to raise that level of awareness.